Hello and welcome to Wednesday Debate Live with Taghreed Hussein here on Nile TV International. Tonight we'll be talking Egypt's diplomacy and the current escalation in the Middle East region. Without Egypt, the balance of the world falters because Egypt, the mother of the world, and its balancing power. And in moments where the region right now is edging towards the brink, Cairo once again is proving that why it is remaining the corner strategic conscience of the Middle East at large. In the latest breakthrough that led to the ceasefire between the United States and Iran, Egypt's hand was not merely present, but definitely it was decisive. From Washington's corridors to Tehran's back channels, the world media and diplomatic insiders consistently pointed to Cairo as a central force in narrowing gaps, in restoring communication and transforming escalation into dialogue. His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, in a social media post, had welcomed the announcement of a ceasefire agreement between the United States and the Islamic Republic of Iran, describing it as a profoundly reassuring development that brought relief to millions of peace-loving people around the world. The President had expressed hope that this positive step would be translated into a permanent agreement capable of ending the war in the region, restoring security and stability, and fulfilling the aspirations of its people for development, progress, and prosperity. President al-Sisi reaffirmed Egypt's full and unconditional support for the sister countries of the Gulf Cooperation Council, as well as Jordan and Iraq, stressing Egypt's steadfast commitment to Arab national security and the regional stability. The President further emphasized Egypt's appreciation for U.S. President Trump's decision to heed the voice of reason and uphold the values of peace, humanity, and de-escalation. The President concluded by affirming that Egypt would continue exerting every sincere and dedicated effort to end the conflict and establish a just and comprehensive peace across the region and beyond. On more top stories, President Sisi had received on Wednesday a phone call from President Adama Barrow of the Republic of Gambia. According to the presidential spokesman, the two presidents discussed the strong bilateral relations, emphasizing Egypt's commitment to enhancing cooperation in trade, investment, development, including the recently inaugurated Egyptian medical. President Barrow expressed appreciation for the progress in relations and the desire to expand joint initiatives benefiting both people. The discussion also covered the regional developments, with President al-Sisi highlighting Egypt's efforts to restore stability in the region, while both leaders explored avenues to support peace, security, and sustainable development across Africa. Earlier, the President also met with Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, the Minister of Electricity and Renewable Energy, and Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources, to review Egypt's energy sector strategy. The discussions focused on adding 2,500 megawatt of renewable energy in 2026, integrating wind, solar, and battery storage into the national grid, and achieving a 42% of renewable energy share by 2030. The meeting also covered timely settlement of oil and gas company dues, the new discoveries and efficiency measures. The President emphasized expanding clean energy, reducing fossil fuel reliance, and also ensuring grid stability and regional challenges. It was breaking news as Egypt had strongly condemned the recent Israeli airstrikes across Lebanon that killed and injured hundreds of civilians, hence violating international law and humanitarian norms. Cairo had denounced the targeting of civilians as a blatant breach of Lebanon's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Welcome back, and reading this important headline, we're really honored to have with us His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Mohamed Hegazy, former assistant to the Foreign Minister. Mr. Ambassador, as we've seen earlier how Egypt had strongly condemned the recent Israeli airstrikes across Lebanon, those airstrikes will definitely derail the de-escalation efforts. How is it going to push the region further into more challenges, Ambassador?
Indeed, Tahir, thank you very much for having me, and my greetings to General Wa'el Rabia. I think to answer your question, one has to refer to the Israeli strategy at this very crucial moment in which the whole world was hoping that we will usher a new era of peaceful thinking, of negotiation in Islamabad day after tomorrow. But all over a sudden, again, the Israelis have imposed their usual practice, using violence as a tool to change reality. I think what they are doing now in Lebanon is to change the pillars of the agreement and to exclude Lebanon from the ongoing discussion and the preparation for the Islamabad round of talks. So I think the Israelis have to be stopped by the United States, and they have to declare their position in regards to the 10 points the Iranians have submitted and the United States has accepted, unless there is a different agreement. I think there is a confusion worldwide. What kind of agreement did they reach? It is the Iranian 10 points in which clearly stated that the ceasefire will include Lebanon and the rest of the places where the Iranian coalitions or arms are working in Iraq, in Yemen, and particularly Hezbollah in Lebanon, or as an announcement from the White House clarified yesterday that there were no commitments towards Lebanon. This confusion is very dangerous, as it might drag us again, because what the Israelis is expecting after this huge unjustified attack on Lebanon is that the Iranian will retaliate, and that will bring us back to square one, which is very much what Netanyahu is trying to achieve. So this is a very important point. I didn't see any written agreement between Iran and the United States. There is an Iranian 10-point submitted to the Americans, and the Americans announced that they have accepted, in which Lebanon has to be excluded from the attack. Yes. Otherwise, it is an Israeli attempt, as I said, to drag the feet of the Iranian again into a retaliation that might lead to ignite of the situation as we have stopped it last night.
Yes. Your Excellency, Ambassador, there has been, of course, international admiration for the Egyptian role, and underscoring Egypt's pivotal role in Egypt's efforts in narrowing the gap between Washington and Tehran, and sustaining this indirect communication channels that actually ultimately made this truce possible. So if we would highlight the Egyptian efforts in order to reach this important milestone, how the Egyptians' exceptional weight role has been actually combining what we say the credibility in Washington, also with the long-established channels across the region at large. Egypt has been working with Pakistan, with Turkey, high-level contacts with the whole world.
I think agreed when we talk about the Egyptian role in bringing the parties to reach this agreement. One has to refer to the early efforts Egypt exerted on the Omani rounds of talks, and even in Geneva, and also through the communication it exerted with the Atomic Agency, the International Atomic Agency Secretary General, who visited Egypt several times to add value to the nuclear issue. And I think Egypt has successfully reached an agreement that was communicated to Washington that the Iranian will accept the inspection of the international experts to their civilian nuclear program. And also, we communicated along with Turkey and with the party of the conflict, and we also included in our contacts a great effort, even exerted by the president himself, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, who visited many capitals in the Gulf, as well as Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati, who gave a lot of his time, energy, and attention to talk to the Iranians and to the Americans at the same time. So this collective effort has led to a breakthrough on which I think the United States has declared accepting the Iranian 10 points after submitting 15 points. The role of Egypt here was a role that is considering the two parties who are not in full trust to each other's position and needed a credible position. This of Egypt, Turkey, and Pakistan, and they have successfully breached the gap between the two parties and led to the victory we also last night when the whole world was awaiting for a huge American catastrophe or strike on the Iranian civilian, what they call it, strategic positions, and successfully we came out of this dilemma by this agreement, which Israel now is trying to breach and to pull again the Iranian into the fight. I think the Egyptian role will continue during Islamabad and after Islamabad because it enjoys the trust of the two parties in a time where they are lacking very much this trust issues. And I think Egypt will continue and their role is appreciated worldwide.
Definitely, Your Excellency, wrapping up with Egypt's reaffirmation always of the full and unconditional support for the sisterly Gulf Arab countries, Egypt's, of course, steadfast commitment to Arab national security and regional stability has always been a red line.
Indeed, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi during the war visited almost all the Gulf countries who can visit. Dr. Badr Abdelati also made his own turn and tour the whole region. The declaration of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi that the national security of the Gulf country is a integral part of Egypt's national security is a clear strategy and a definition of the Egyptian role supporting the Gulf, condemning also the Iranian aggression against the Gulf countries, and assured all what is required both politically and diplomatically to the Gulf, as well as all what the Gulf countries has requested on a material level. So it's not only political or diplomatic, but also on the material aspect, and that has a lot to explain what do we mean by the integrated national security of both Egypt and the Gulf.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Ambassador Dr. Mohamed Hegazy, former assistant to the Foreign Minister, for the wise analysis. Thank you. Thank you, dear Ambassador. And actually, Egypt's diplomacy amid the regional escalations is our topic for tonight. Let's watch this report and we'll be back.
Egyptian diplomatic efforts emerged as a decisive force in helping pave the way for the ceasefire agreement between the United States and Iran, in a development widely seen as a major victory for regional de-escalation and crisis management. Over the past critical hours, Cairo, working in close coordination with Pakistan and Turkey, intensified high-level contacts aimed at halting military operations and restoring strategic calm and steering all parties back towards political dialogue. International reporting underscored that Egypt played a pivotal role in narrowing the gap between Washington and Tehran and sustaining the indirect communication channels that made the truce possible. What gave Egypt's role exceptional weight was its ability to combine credibility in Washington with long-established channels across the region. Cairo was central to message-passing efforts, confidence-building proposals, and the search for mutually acceptable off-ramps at a time when previous mediation tracks had nearly stalled. In this regard, Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati held direct calls with U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi as part of an urgent escalation push. Equally significant was the political endorsement that followed their breakthrough. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi welcomed President Trump's announcement suspending military operations in the region, describing the ceasefire as a positive development that should be transformed into a permanent agreement capable of restoring security, safeguarding Gulf and Arab interests, and opening the door for broader peace arrangements. Cairo's message remained clear: military pauses must evolve into a durable negotiating framework that addresses legitimate security concerns for Gulf states, Iraq and Jordan, while preserving freedom of navigation and regional stability. Steve Witkoff praised for Egypt's sincere efforts in tandem with Islamabad, further reinforced Cairo's standing as one of the diplomatic anchors in the current Middle East crisis. Beyond the immediate ceasefire, this moment once again positions Egypt as a trusted strategic mediator capable of transforming confrontation into dialogue and keeping the region from sliding into a wider conflict.
And for more analysis, we're really honored to be joined by His